Tank is a gifted puncher. He don't need equipment to punch, you know what I mean? He's not being taught how to punch. He was born, it's God gifted compared to Schofield's punch, you know? All the strength work and stuff like that. No disrespect, but it's a different torque in Tank's punch.
So vice versa, is Tank a tune-up for Floyd?
I don't see it, but Floyd see it.
I see it. That's the thing. It all depends on when you're chasing your dreams. It all depends on what y'all dreaming, what the person dreaming. Everybody else not gonna believe it. It ain't for everybody else to believe. It's for you to believe it.
Boxing, you gotta understand the tricks, the mind games people play. It's like sitting in court. You gotta catch it. You gotta catch it. You know what I'm saying? Catch what that judge say, or you one time.
Gervonta Davis's coach has now fired back at Floyd Schofield, and his message was clear. Schofield is not on Tank's level yet.
I think it's a good experience for him, you know?
For real. He will learn from wherever Tank teach him in that ring. He will carry that on throughout his boxing journey. And look at Canelo. What Canelo learned from Floyd, then he turned out to be good, you know, on the journey. So it is what it is. I'm excited for it. I hope Oscar and PBC can...
Gervonta Davis's coach has now fired back at Floyd Schofield with a clear and unmistakable message. Schofield is simply not on Tank's level yet and has much to prove before he can be considered a legitimate threat. In his view, this fight would serve as a valuable learning experience for the young challenger, providing him with lessons that he could carry with him throughout the rest of his boxing journey. He drew a comparison to Canelo Alvarez, pointing out that Canelo learned a great deal from his fight with Floyd Mayweather, and that experience ultimately helped him become the exceptional fighter he is today. While Schofield may be hungry, fast, and fearless, Tank's team seems fully prepared to remind him that elite power, impeccable timing, and championship-level experience represent a completely different kind of problem that cannot be easily overcome. Floyd Schofield Sr.
They hyping their name up. I think they would go at Tank, but what did Tank say in response?
That he would whoop him, that little tick that, the little reaction tick that Farmer has, it's not gonna affect, you wouldn't do nothing with me, with that type of deal. Yeah, he wasn't too happy about the performance.
Oh, well.
Due to the
down from the Gervonta Davis conversation, and he is clearly trying to push the narrative that his son has already done enough to deserve that fight. He is looking closely at Tank's resume, comparing it to what Floyd Jr. has been building, and making the case that people should stop acting like his son is just some random challenger with no credentials. He pointed out that his son knocked out Kevin Farmer, a two-time champion, in just one round, and argued that this single accomplishment, fighter for fighter, is actually more impressive than anything Tank has done. From his side, Schofield is young, dangerous, confident, and already proving that he can handle real opposition. That is why his comments sound so direct and forceful, because he wants the boxing world to see this as a serious mandatory fight, not just another name being thrown at Tank to pad his record. Coach Kenny Ellis is looking at the matchup between Tank Davis and Floyd Schofield Jr. through the lens of one area that always changes a fight: power.
Schofield fought nobody just like my son has it. My son fought Tevin Farmer, two-time champion, knocked him out in one round. That accomplished more. Truthfully, fighter for fighter.
Schofield Jr. may be strong, fast, and confident, but Kenny sees Tank's punching ability as something fundamentally different and on another level entirely. From Team Tank's perspective, this is not just about who works harder in the gym or who talks with more belief and conviction. It is about natural danger and the kind of power that cannot be trained or replicated. Tank has built his entire reputation on making fighters feel something they were not ready for, and Kenny believes Schofield may be seeing the same openings that other opponents thought they saw before the fight started, only to realize too late that they were mistaken.
Come on now, this bull. Y'all can't see that bullshit, then it's on y'all. He hasn't fought nobody. I want to see as a fan him fight somebody.
That is what makes his warning hit so much harder, because he is basically saying that confidence is good, but Tank's power is a completely different reality once the bell rings and the fight truly begins. Floyd Schofield Sr. is making it abundantly clear that they are not asking for an easy road or looking for shortcuts to the top. They are asking for the biggest challenge available, the fight that would define his son's career and cement his legacy. When he talks about fighting Gervonta Davis, he is not presenting it like a risky move that they are scared of or hesitant about. He is presenting it.
The Tank is just natural, and then with Floyd Schofield, it's kind of been taught.
Yeah, through training and stuff like that. But however you get it, you get it. But you know, Tank punch is different.
You know, Schofield believes that Tank Davis is food at this moment in time. What do you feel like they see?
It's okay for him to think, but I don't know what he sees. You know, and whatever you see, all it takes is last opponent to see it. You know.
Yeah.
See it. That's just
It like the exact fight his son has been built for and has been preparing for his entire career.
Tank is the name, the star, and the champion everyone watches and measures themselves against.
But Schofield Sr. believes that is precisely why this opportunity matters so much. From his side, if you want to prove you belong at the top, you do not wait around for safer fights or easier opponents. You go straight at the best and show the world whether you are really ready for that level of competition. This is where the talk around Tank Davis and Floyd Schofield Jr. starts turning into real fight energy and genuine anticipation.
In our weight class. That don't make sense. Schofield not even a boxer at this point. Yes, he is. Schofield got 19 fights with a bunch of knockouts. He only been off a year. He been boxing since he was 8. And only been off a year at 23. Come on now. Don't fall out any more fights. I don't know, that need to learn how to spell before he start trying to criticize.
Tank's side is clearly not impressed by the confidence coming from Schofield's camp, viewing it as the bravado of a young fighter who has not yet faced anyone of Tank's caliber. But Floyd Jr.'s team is looking at it from a completely different perspective. To them, Tank is still human, no matter how dangerous his power is or how big his name has become in the sport. That is precisely why this back and forth feels so heated and intense, because both sides are talking like they already know exactly what will happen once they finally meet in the ring. Tank's team sees a young fighter talking too much and biting off more than he can chew, while Schofield's side sees a champion who can be challenged and potentially beaten if the right game plan is executed. Floyd Schofield Sr.
Tank saying he will get his little ass whooped. I have none of those twitches that Tevin has. I'll beat the dog shit out of this.
He's a boxer. He's supposed to say that. Like Kid is saying the same thing. Like Tank
Is trying to completely flip the whole tune-up idea on its head and reframe the narrative. A lot of people may look at this fight like Tank Davis is using Floyd Jr. to shake off rust and ease his way back into action after a period of inactivity. But Schofield Sr. sees this fight as dangerous for both sides, not just for his son. Tank has been inactive and may not be at his sharpest, while Floyd Jr. has also been out of the ring for a period of time. Now both men are stepping straight into a fight with real pressure and high stakes surrounding it.
Up for Tank and a tune-up for Floyd. I feel like, I don't know about that statement. You know what I mean? Why you feel that way?
I didn't say it. He said it. He said tuna.
Right.
That means a lot.
Yeah, both of them haven't been in the ring in a year. They both the tune-up for both of them. No matter which way it's gonna go, they both been out of the ring over a year.
Man, it's been a year for Schofield already?
Yeah, last June. It's about to be a year, and Tank is a year and a half. They both each other tune-up, no matter how it looks. And my son, I've been saying he's the greatest of all time. When do we get a chance to prove it or go after it? This is a huge risk for my son. What happened if my son
You're
wins?
going against the king.
Right. What happened if he wins? What happened if God forbid he stopped Tank? How is his life the next day? So with this journey of life, you got one life. Have fun, risk, have fun, go for it. What's the worst that can happen? You lose? Nobody expected you to win. So, you know, it's a win-win for my son no matter what, just getting in the ring.
For Schofield's team, that risk is exactly the point and part of the appeal. They know Tank is the king of the division, but they also believe this is the kind of moment that can change Floyd Jr.'s life overnight and transform his career trajectory. That is why Senior is talking with so much confidence and conviction, because from his side, his son has everything to gain and absolutely nothing to fear. Shane Mosley makes the conversation even more interesting and nuanced because he understands exactly what happens when a young, hungry fighter gets a once-in-a-lifetime shot at a superstar like Gervonta Davis.
I think Schofield's been more active, and he's a younger, a little bit bigger, a little taller. I think he's gonna give Tank a lot of problems.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's gonna Tank some problems. I like Tank too, but Tank he's been all over the place. His mental's, I don't think it's all the way there. You know, he got a lot of girl problems, this problem, that problem. Yeah, I have to lean with Schofield, but the Tank is about, I like Tank. He fights with a heart and strong, and all. I mean, I like the way he fights, you know, but on this one, I would probably lean to Schofield because he's a real fighter too.
So what? Is it just the size alone, the durability? I mean, what?
No. It's the mentality. It's not the size. The size, Tank don't care about size. Otherwise, it'll be Ryan did something. It's
Tank is still the bigger name, the proven puncher, and the man everyone in the division is chasing. But Shane seems to see real danger in this matchup if it actually happens next. Floyd Jr. is not coming into the ring with fear or hesitation.
I like Kid Austin for a reason, right? Not in the fight, I'm saying. I just like him as a fighter because I pay attention to dedication and growth. I've been watching him and Abdullah Mason since before they really got off the ground because I used to evaluate guys for Rick Ross when he was in the boxing space, not the rapper, the real one. And during that era, I know you remember that, I think, but in that era, I saw a lot of chinks in his armor when it came to the way he fought. Like I saw him get bodied by some guys in Texas a couple times, like in sparring, he was getting dropped. And I was just like, damn, he got to work on his game. That's what my assessment was. Like, he got to work on his game, defense, his movement. So he's tough, but I thought he needed to work on his movement. And watching him now, since he's been with, I think he's with Golden Boy, right? Yeah. Since he's been with them, though, I watch him online. I see him working on his game. He's dedicated.
In his eyes, he is coming in with blazing speed, unwavering belief, and the mindset that this could be the fight that changes everything for him. Mosley's perspective adds weight to the discussion because he has been in similar positions himself and knows what it takes to pull off an upset. Then the conversation shifts to the broader perception of this matchup. Most people will look at Tank as the star, the dangerous puncher, and the clear favorite. So most people will expect him to handle business and dispatch Schofield without too much trouble. But Floyd Jr. is young, confident, and clearly believes he sees something in Tank's game that he can take advantage of and exploit.
No, he's tough. He's been in some fights where he had to have some grit. The issue I have is Tank left hand. I think Tank, no matter how tough you are, you're not going to just keep dealing with that left. You know what I'm saying? And if Tank hits you with 2 or 3 of those clean, that's going to be night-night. I don't care who you are. I think Roach is an anomaly. Roach did pretty good. He didn't get hit too clean too often, and he had a game plan. If Austin is a cerebral fighter, if he can become one or if he is one, and he can study that fight, try to gain an understanding for how Roach went about not just surviving, but frustrating Tank, then he got a shot. But I think Tank, I got that fight Tank in 6 or 7 because of Austin's prowess. Like, his thing is he's tough, he's explosive. But all I see, Gervonta, lately when he's fighting guys, he waits you out. He waits for the steam to come out.
That is precisely what makes this matchup so interesting and compelling, because it pits the established star against the hungry challenger who believes he has found the blueprint for victory. It is not just about Tank being the overwhelming favorite on paper. It is fundamentally about whether Schofield can actually turn that confidence into real, tangible pressure once he is standing in front of the most dangerous puncher in the entire division. Can he handle the power? Can he execute his game plan under the bright lights? Those are the questions that will be answered on Fight Night. Max Kellerman's take on Gervonta Davis versus Floyd Schofield Jr. gives the matchup a bigger boxing conversation and places it within the broader context of the sport. Max usually looks past the noise and the trash talk, focusing instead on levels, timing, and what a fight truly proves about a fighter's standing in the sport. Tank is
Tank won't take them type of fights unless he needs to because he fights for money. Now, one thing is maybe he got a lot.
That's why I bring it up.
But I'm saying,
Tank might need that fight right now.
He got a lot of stuff going on.
He just fumbled a $30 million bag.
A lot of Tank that was the interest in Tank was generated because you know what you see. You know he's a special talent. But the fact is, his resume was highly, let's say, curated.
Come on.
He fought smaller guys who couldn't punch.
Santa Cruz.
Right, exactly.
And knocked them cold out.
Right, knocked him out. The way he did it.
Matter.
That don't matter.
Knocked them cold out.
He was a trainer saying that's terrible.
That is an old trick. That's an old trick promoters use when you want to build up a puncher. You bring a name guy up a division or two who's not a puncher and let the puncher look really good. And even then, he lost some rounds. He was, Rolly is a big puncher, but not the most sophisticated boxer.
I thought we were going to avoid this.
Ryan Garcia made that fight happen.
Made what fight happen?
With Tank.
Yes, and got clipped. And I don't want to hear nothing behind it. I don't want to hear nothing behind it.
And he
forced the fight to happen.
Wait a minute. And he was weight trained.
He drained the hell out of me.
He did. And Ryan, since then, has not proven to be an elite pound-for-pound fighter. He has proven that he's still an excellent fighter, and like Ryan, like Tank, you can see
the established star, the proven finisher, and the fighter everyone at lightweight is ultimately measured against. But
taking too much time off, personal issues, just personal problems, that he has in his life, that none of our business. But at the end, we as boxing fans would love to see him. He's exciting. We love to see his knockouts. We love to see his fights. The way he starts and takes care of business. In the later rounds, he's an exciting fighter. He sells out arenas. He does really good numbers when it comes to pay-per-view and stuff like that. So I'm glad he's coming back. Schofield is a dangerous fighter. His last fight he took out what's his name in the first round, knocked him out, and Tevin Farmer, and look, and nobody had done that, and Schofield comes in and knocks him out the way he did. That was impressive. So yeah, it is a risky fight for
Floyd Schofield Jr. is trying to force his way into that same conversation with confidence and relentless pressure from his team. That is why Max's opinion matters so much in this context, because this fight is not just about whether Schofield believes he can win.
The situation Davis is in, these are tough fights because he has these long layoffs. He has a lot of these mental lapses where, he's getting arrested, and the Jake Paul fight is also off the table, on the table. I'd much rather see Tank Davis fighting Schofield than Jake Paul, that's for sure. So the Schofield fight, actually, bring it to the table. He's the #1 WBA mandatory, so obviously you're knocking the mandatory out of the way, because I can remember Schofield and Lucas Body being on the table for the vacant WBA title when Davis was going to be stripped for fighting Jake Paul. So now that he's not stripped, it forces Body to take a step back, and now you got Schofield and Davis on the table. So you got to respect Davis for doing the right thing to try to hold on to the title. You got to respect the WBA for actually, continuing to mandate the guy Schofield, because, these guys were sitting there waiting, and you know how I feel about champions that hold the belts.
It is about whether he is truly ready for the kind of speed, power, patience, and danger that Tank brings when the lights are at their brightest and the stakes are at their highest. On the other hand, it appears that Floyd Kid Austin Schofield is becoming increasingly desperate for his fight with Tank Davis to materialize. Recently, he took to social media and tweeted that both Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis are scared to face him in the ring, calling that statement a fact and accusing them of being nothing more than smoke and mirrors. He then
ordered the fight, but the WBA has ordered a lot of fights that they didn't follow through on. So I'm skeptical until they reach that limit of if the sides make a deal, great. I very much doubt they'll be able to come up with that, before the deadline for a purse bid. The problem with the WBA is that they lie. So as an example, look at the Rolly Romero situation. That's why we saw Jack Catterall and Giasov fight for the regular title of the WBA at welterweight, because Giasov had been sitting there as their mandatory for the last, probably about a year. They ordered the fight with Tank. I mean, not with Tank, with Rolly, I should say. And the fight, they didn't make a deal. And I had my own personal conversation with Gilberto Mendoza. Yeah, we're going to order the purse bid. I'm talking to him on a Wednesday or Thursday afternoon. We're texting. It's yeah, we're going to order the purse bid on Monday. Okay. They never ordered the purse bid. It went months. They didn't order it. So they can put out a resolution, say they have 30 days to make Schofield against as the mandatory to make the fight with Tank Davis. and if they don't reach an agreement within X number of days, we're going to order the person out.
Questioned why Tank would need so much money to step into the ring with him if he is supposedly such an easy opponent, suggesting that the financial demands are simply a way to avoid the fight. Schofield
Boy and PBC, which are the two groups that would be involved, have worked well together over the last couple of times. They've done some fights together. They just did the big fight between Benavidez and Zurdo Ramirez. So from the promoter point of view, it probably shouldn't be
further tweeted his belief that Tank is asking for too much money, more than PBC can actually afford, and that the talk of legal issues is nothing but smoke and mirrors designed to get out of the fight. He made it clear that if Tank does not want to fight, it is time for the WBA to strip Tank and give Kid the full world title, insisting that Tank is scared to face him in the ring. For Schofield, these are not just words, they are facts that he is trying to bring to the attention of the boxing public. That is precisely what makes this matchup so interesting and compelling for boxing fans. Tank has the experience and the devastating power, while Schofield has the confidence and the mentality of a fighter with absolutely nothing to lose.
For WBA at 135, Floyd Schofield, Tank Davis, Lance, a reporter, put out Pugmire. I think I'm saying his name right. If I'm not, apologize. But he put out that those negotiations are starting to intensify more with Floyd Schofield and Tank Davis. I mean, what do you think about them at 135?
Good fight. I mean, Schofield has all the proving to do. They're doing a lot of talking, but not a lot of proving. Again, the win over Tevin Farmer was a great win. It was a dominant victory over the Kid, and so. But now we have to build on that. Farmer was good, but he come up short in those victories. And like I say, with the falling out of Shakur Stevenson fight, with him not fighting Shakur Stevenson, that just left a bad taste in the boxing public's minds. And so I like to see the fight. I think it's a good fight. They both power punchers. They roughly, the same height or size or something. So it's a good fight. I can't complain. Like I say, when you watch Tank, it's always a treat to watch Tank. So.
For those analyzing the fight, this is the kind of contest where one single mistake can change everything and completely alter the course of both fighters' careers. Dan Rafael, speaking on the WBA's decision to order Gervonta Davis to face Floyd Schofield Jr., gives this whole situation significantly more weight and legitimacy because now it is not just social media talk or callouts from Schofield's side. Once the WBA gets involved in issues of formal order, the fight starts looking like a real mandatory situation that cannot be easily ignored. That puts substantial pressure on Tank's team to either make a deal and get the fight done, or explain to fans and the sanctioning body why it is not happening. The mandatory order changes the dynamics of the negotiation significantly from a promotional standpoint. Golden Boy and PBC, which are the two groups that would be involved in making this fight, have worked well together over the last several times they have done business. They have successfully put together some notable fights in recent years, including the big fight between Benavidez and Zurdo Ramirez. So from the promoter's point of view, there probably should not be a huge issue in getting this fight made. The working relationship between the two promotional entities has been relatively smooth, and there is no reason to expect that this fight would be any different from a logistical standpoint. The real hurdles appear to be related to the financial demands and the negotiations between the fighters' camps rather than any promotional rivalry. Bernie Boxer also shared his views on this potential fight, offering a measured and cautious perspective. He acknowledged that the fight can turn out to be a good and competitive contest if both fighters show up in top form. However, he also issued a warning to Schofield about this fight, considering what he described as his poor performance in some of his previous outings. Bernie's analysis suggests that while Schofield has talent and potential, there are legitimate concerns about his consistency and ability to perform at the highest level against a fighter of Tank's caliber. He believes that Schofield will need to be at his absolute best and avoid the mistakes that have plagued him in the past if he hopes to have any chance of victory.